The trip that never happened. The ticket on the fridge. 17-year-old Jalen Brooks had been counting down to his Dubai trip since August. The ticket lived on the refrigerator door, held up by a crooked magnet shaped like a sneaker. Every morning before school, he'd tap it once for luck. Dubai meant freedom. It meant skyline selfies, futuristic malls, and the chance to tell his friends he finally traveled somewhere farther than his auntie's house in Atlanta. But then there was his sister, Maya, 2 years older, 2 inches taller, and 10 times louder when she wanted something. The kind of loud you can hear through headphones, shower water, and closed doors. She wasn't the reason the trip existed, but she was the reason it might fall apart. It happened on a Thursday. Their mom called a family meeting, which, in the Brooks household, meant something was wrong. Nobody called a family meeting for good news. Maya flopped onto the couch, scrolling through her phone. Jalen sat across from her, heart thumping like he could already sense bad news walking down the hallway. Their mom took a breath. Your sister's situation has changed. She needs support right now. And because of that, we're going to have to postpone the Dubai trip. Jalen felt the words like a physical drop in his stomach. Postpone? For how long? I don't know yet. But I've been planning this for months. Maya finally looked up, guilt flickering in her eyes, but she didn't say anything. Jalen didn't yell, didn't argue. He just stood up, nodded tightly, and walked to his room. Because sometimes anger isn't loud, it's quiet. Hours later, Maya knocked softly on his door. Can I come in? He didn't answer, but she entered anyway, sitting cross-legged on the floor like she used to when they were kids. I know you're mad, she said. You think? Jalen muttered. Maya sighed. Look, college has been rough. My grades tanked last semester. I lost my scholarship. Mom didn't tell you because she didn't want you stressing. We've been figuring out money stuff, and I need to move back home for a while. Jalen blinked. This was the reason. So you just mess everything up and I get punished for it, he snapped. That's not fair. Well, it's not fair for me either. Maya nodded slowly, accepting the hit. Jay, I'm not trying to ruin anything for you. I'm just trying not to drown. For the first time, he noticed the tiredness in her face. Not the kind that comes from staying up too late, but the kind that comes from life coming at you too fast. The next morning, Jalen's friends crowded around him at school. You're lying. They canceled Dubai. What did your sister even do? Bro, I'd be furious. He didn't correct them. Didn't explain. Let them talk. But their jokes and sympathy didn't make him feel better. If anything, it made the weight heavier. That night, Jalen stared at the fridge. The ticket was still there, the date mocking him. He pulled it down gently and folded it like it might break apart. From the hallway, Maya's voice drifted. Jay, I meant what I said. When things settle, I'll help you get there. Maybe not Dubai exactly, but somewhere. He didn't answer. But for the first time since the news, the anger felt less sharp. The Dubai group chat exploded the night Jalen finally typed the words. I'm not going anymore. Immediately. Tariq, bro, what? London. Why, Eli? Did you mess up your passport? Loudly crying face. He explained only what he wanted to. Family stuff. Trips cancelled. There was a pause, a digital silence, and then, London. That sucks FR, but you good? Eli, yeah, we're not trying to pry Tariq. We'll bring you something back. Not a camel though, how customs works. Jalen laughed for the first time in days. He didn't tell them about Maya. He didn't tell them about the scholarship, or the stress, or the way his mom's voice cracked when she said postpone. Some things were too real for a chat with flashing emojis. But he felt a little less alone. Saturday morning, he found Maya at the kitchen table, laptop open, papers everywhere. Financial aid forms. Apartment cancellation fees. Course schedules. She looked up, surprised he wasn't avoiding her. You're up early, she said. I couldn't sleep. Maya pushed her braids back and exhaled. Jay, I know you hate me right now, but I promise I'm trying. He hesitated, then sat across from her. What are you going to do now? She shrugged. Get a part-time job. Retake some classes. Try again. I'm not quitting, I'm just rerouting. For the first time, she didn't sound defensive, just honest. He asked quietly, Were you scared to tell us? Yeah. Mostly because you look up to me. And I didn't want you thinking I'm a failure. Jalen stared at her. I never thought that. Maya's eyes softened, and for a moment, they were just siblings again. Not a problem and a consequence. On Monday, something unexpected happened. A thick white envelope appeared in the mailbox addressed to Jalen Brooks. Not spam. Not a bill. Real mail. Inside was a letter from the school. Congratulations! You've been accepted into the Global Youth Creators Program, Summer 2025 in Toronto. It wasn't Dubai, but it was international. A program for digital storytelling, workshops, cameras, students from everywhere. Jalen's pulse quickened. He ran inside shouting, Emma. She read the letter, eyes widening. Jalen, this is huge. Maya peeked over her shoulder. Toronto? Jay, that's amazing. He swallowed, excitement mixing with guilt. But we can't afford. We'll figure it out, his mom said. And I'll help, Maya added immediately. Jalen blinked at her. You don't have to. I want to. Let me help you get your win. Something warm settled in his chest. Something like hope. Days passed. The Dubai ticket stayed folded in his desk drawer, not as a reminder of what he lost, but of how life shifts, bends, reroutes, like Maya said. He researched Toronto, practiced editing videos, started imagining a different skyline. One night, Maya knocked on his door again. You know, she said, leaning against the frame, Dubai will still be there next year. Or the year after. But you're leveling up right now. Jalen smiled faintly. You always gotta sound like some motivational speaker. Somebody has to. Dad's not here, Mom's tired, and you're dramatic. He threw a pillow at her. She dodged it easily. Seriously, she said. I'm proud of you. For once, Jalen believed it, not because she said it, but because she meant it. Maya started working 2 shifts at a neighborhood smoothie shop. It wasn't glamorous. Loud blenders, sticky counters, endless orders for extra protein, no banana. But every time she came home smelling like strawberries and sanitizer, she'd hand Jalen a little envelope. For your Toronto fund, she'd say. He tried to refuse the first few times, but she wouldn't let him. I messed up my semester. Let me help you not miss your shot. Their mom pitched in too, cutting back where she could, working extra hours when she had them. They didn't complain, didn't pressure him, they just quietly created space for him to succeed. For the first time, Jalen realized something important. Family wasn't about who ruined a trip. Family was about who helped you stay standing when plans fell apart. March arrived, and the Toronto program sent a welcome packet. Maps, schedules, workshops on videography, digital storytelling, and global cultures. Jalen taped the packet to the fridge exactly where the Dubai ticket had been. I like this better, Maya admitted, opening the fridge for juice. It looks like something you earned, not something you stumbled into. He smirked. So I didn't earn Dubai. You earned the desire, she teased. Not the airfare. They laughed, and for once, there was no heaviness behind it. At school, his media teacher, Mr. Ellis, noticed the change. You've been focused lately, he said as Jalen edited a short film. Got a reason to be, Jalen replied. Good. Use it. The world needs more storytellers who don't quit after one setback. Jalen didn't say it out loud, but he knew Mr. Ellis was right. Dubai had felt like the destination. Toronto felt like the beginning. 2 weeks before summer, something unexpected happened. Tariq returned from Dubai and invited the whole friend group over for a "We feel bad for leaving you," celebration. When Jalen arrived, he found them sitting around a table covered in souvenirs, tiny gold towers, keychains, and boxes of dates. "Bro, we brought you back something," Tarek said, grinning. He handed Jalen a small black box. Inside was a metal plate engraved with a simple message. "Next time, you're coming with us." Jalen's throat tightened, not from sadness, but from the strange warmth of being remembered. London nudged him. "And Toronto? That's even cooler. You're like, evolving." Eli added, "Yeah, when you get famous, remember us little people." Jalen laughed. "What makes you think I'm gonna be famous?" "Because you don't stop," Tarek said seriously. "Most people would have sulked for months. You found a whole new plan." The Dubai trip still stung a little. But for the first time, it didn't hurt. The morning of his flight to Toronto, the whole house buzzed with energy. Maya triple-checked his passport. His mom packed snacks even though he insisted the plane would serve food. "You're still my baby," she said. "Planes don't change that." At the airport, Maya pulled him into a tight hug. "You better send updates," she warned. "And don't be weird and forget you have a family." "I'm literally gone for 2 weeks." 2 weeks is enough for a personality change. They both laughed. When he finally boarded the plane and looked out the window, something shifted in him. A sense of motion not just across distance, but across life. Dubai wasn't the loss he thought it was. Toronto wasn't the backup plan he assumed it might be. Both were chapters, and the chapter he was entering now felt like the right one. As the plane lifted into the sky, Jalen whispered to himself, "I'm not done yet." And he wasn't. Not even close. Toronto looked nothing like home. The air felt cleaner, the buildings taller, the streets louder in a different kind of way, less chaotic, more alive. Jalen rolled his suitcase through the airport, staring at everything like it might disappear if he blinked too long. At the dorm check-in, a girl with teal braids waved him over. "You're Jalen, right? From the US." "Yeah." "I'm Zuri. Kenya." She grinned as she grabbed his welcome packet. "They said you do video editing." "Good. Our group needs someone who won't make us look crusty." Jalen laughed, already liking her confidence. Then someone else approached, a tall, quiet guy wearing a camera around his neck. "I'm Mateo," he said softly. "Peru. I'm supposed to be in your team too." Just like that, they formed a trio, a group of strangers connected by passion, opportunity, and a summer that might change them all. Orientation day buzzed with nervous energy. Students from 7 countries gathered in a bright lecture hall as the program coordinator, Ms. On, stepped forward. "This summer," she said, "you won't just learn how to create. You'll learn how to tell a story that matters." She paused, scanning the room. "So ask yourself, what story are you carrying?" Her words hit Jalen deeper than he expected. What story was he carrying? The cancelled trip? The frustration with Maya? The way his life rerouted and somehow became bigger than his original plan? That night, while the city glowed outside their dorm windows, Jalen admitted something to his group. "I want to make a short film about change," he said. "About how plans fall apart but people grow anyway." Zuri nodded slowly. "That's real. Everybody here has lived something like that." Mateo added, "Then let's make it good." And with that, the project began. While Jalen settled into Toronto life, Maya's world was shifting too. She started her summer classes, smaller, calmer, more her pace. Her new job wasn't fancy, but she was good at it. Customers liked her. Her manager trusted her. One evening, while wiping down a counter, Maya paused as a little kid laughed with his older sister near the window. Something about the moment hit her. Not jealousy, but clarity. She texted Jalen. "Maya, hope your flight was smooth." Maya, "And proud of you, BTW." Didn't say that enough before. She expected a short, distracted response. Instead, a long message came through. "Jalen, thanks. I'm proud of you too. Jalen, I know things were rough. But you're pushing through in a way I don't think I could have at your age. Jalen, I see you. Maya reread the message twice. For months she'd felt like the problem, the setback, the reason things went wrong. But seeing those 3 words, I see you, made something inside her finally loosen. By the second week, Jalen's group had filmed street musicians, cafe conversations, park scenes, and interviews with other students. But something was missing. We need the emotional center, Zuri said one night, sitting cross-legged on the dorm floor. Right now it's pretty, but it's not personal. Mateo nodded. Your story is the heart. You need to show why it matters to you. Jalen froze. Show his story. The cancelled Dubai trip? The disappointment? The complicated feelings about Maya? That felt way too vulnerable. Way too real. But later, while editing footage alone, he watched a clip of a student saying, "Plans change, but so do people." And suddenly he knew. He recorded a voiceover, nothing dramatic, just honest. He talked about expectations, disappointment, family pressure, and unexpected second chances. He never blamed Maya. Never made her the villain. He focused on how losing one dream led him to another. When he finished, he sat back, breathing out slowly. The story wasn't perfect, but it was true. And that made it powerful. At breakfast on Friday, Mizan announced something that sent a buzz through the entire program. Next week is the Global Youth Creators Showcase. Each team will present their final film to visiting mentors, community members, and your families, in person or online. Jalen nearly dropped his fork. Families. In person. He immediately texted his mom. They're doing a showcase. You don't have to come, it's far, but just letting you know. She replied a minute later. We'll see. Proud of you either way. He expected that. His mom's job made travel hard, and Maya had classes. He wasn't disappointed, just realistic. Zuri nudged him. You ready for people to see your heart on a screen? I don't know if anyone's ever seen my heart before, he joked. Mateo smiled. Then this is the perfect first time. Editing week was intense. Long hours, late nights, endless replaying of clips until the audio practically lived inside their brains. One night, while adjusting the pacing, Jalen added a new piece of footage. A short montage of his fridge back home, the Dubai ticket, and the Toronto welcome packet replacing it. Zuri watched over his shoulder. Oh, she whispered. Symbolism. Growth. All that good stuff. But it wasn't just aesthetic, it meant something to him. The ticket wasn't a symbol of loss anymore. It was a marker of where the story shifted. And in the voiceover that followed, he said, sometimes life closes a door. But sometimes it opens a better one in a hallway you never knew existed. Mateo leaned back in his chair. Bro, that line hits. Jalen smiled, a little shy but proud. This wasn't the story he planned to tell, but it was the story he needed to tell. The night before the showcase, Jalen received a video call. When he answered, he saw both his mom and Maya, sitting in what looked like an airport gate. Maya? Mom. What are y'all doing? His mom grinned. We're on our way to Toronto. You, what? Maya held up 2 boarding passes like trophies. Surprise. Your program is important. And you've been supporting us for years without even knowing. Now it's our turn. Jalen couldn't speak for a moment. He wasn't used to being the one celebrated. Not like this. But plane tickets are expensive. His mom cut him off gently. We made it work. You deserve to have someone cheering for you in person. And, Maya added, I wanted to see the film. The one I kinda inspired. Jalen covered his face, overwhelmed, but in the best way. He finally whispered, Thank you. Maya smiled. Don't thank us yet. If your film is bad, I'm heckling. Please don't. No promises. The next evening, the auditorium glowed with warm lights and quiet anticipation. Students sat with their groups while families filled the seats. Jalen spotted his mom and Maya in the third row. Maya waved dramatically. His mom waved calmly, her proud smile steady, soft, unforgettable. When it was his team's turn, the lights dimmed. Their film started with city scenes, Toronto streets, faces, voices from around the world. Then the narration began. Jalen's narration. It was vulnerable without being exposing, honest without being heavy. He talked about changing plans, about resilience, about how people can be both the cause of your frustration and the source of your strength. And when the montage of the fridge and the ticket played, he glanced at Maya. She wiped her eyes quickly, pretending she wasn't emotional. He smiled. When the film ended, the audience clapped, not loud or wild, but genuine. Real. Afterward, Ms. On approached them. "This," she said, "is why storytelling matters. You didn't just show what happened, you showed how a person grows." Zuri and Mateo beamed. Jalen felt something shift inside him, a quiet, steady certainty. He was meant to create. He was meant to tell stories. And none of it would have happened if Dubai had worked out. Later, as they walked out of the auditorium, Maya bumped his shoulder. "You know," she said softly, "this was your Dubai." Jalen looked at her. Really looked. "Yeah," he said. "I think you're right." And he was. The day after the showcase, Jalen felt lighter, like something inside him had opened up. His mom hugged him so tightly that even Zuri whispered, "Dang, that's a mom-mom hug." Maya inspected the film poster taped to the dorm lobby wall. "You know," she said, tapping her chin dramatically, "I think you made me look pretty heroic." Jalen laughed. "I didn't even show your face." Exactly. Mysterious, supportive older sister energy. They spent the day exploring Toronto. Parks, food trucks, and street markets bustling with color and noise. It felt like the three of them were rediscovering each other, not as a stressed-out family trying to survive a rough season, but as a team. That night, as they walked back to the dorm, Maya said, "Jay, I'm glad things didn't go how we planned. I needed this trip as much as you did." Jalen didn't know what to say, so he said the truest thing he could. "Me too." When Jalen returned home, nothing about the house had changed. Same fridge magnets, same hallway creak, same warm smell of his mom's cooking. But he had changed. The first night back, he opened his desk drawer. The old folded Dubai ticket was still there. But it didn't sting anymore. He held it for a moment, then taped it on his wall next to a printout of his Toronto program badge. Not as a reminder of what he lost, but of where everything started. At school, his friends swarmed him with questions. Did you eat poutine? Did you meet creators from different countries? Did you become famous yet? Can we watch your film? When he showed the film in media class, the room fell silent in that rare, meaningful way, the kind of silence that says people felt something. Mr. Ellis nodded proudly. "Keep making work like this," he said, "and you'll go far." For the first time, Jalen believed him. Summer rolled into fall, and Maya settled into her classes. She worked hard, studied harder, and slowly rebuilt confidence she thought she had lost. One evening, she poked her head into Jalen's room. "Guess what? I applied for an internship with a youth leadership center, and I got an interview." Jalen sat up, genuinely excited. "Maya, that's huge." She sat on his bed, hugging a pillow. "I was scared to try again after everything that happened. But your film, it reminded me that one setback isn't the end." He smiled. "Maybe I'm motivational now." "Relax," she laughed. "You're still dramatic." But then she squeezed his hand. Simple, sincere. "I'm proud of us," she said softly. "We really bounced back." "Yeah," he agreed. "We did." In October, a thick envelope arrived in the mail, addressed to Jalen. He tore it open and froze. Inside was a letter from the Global Youth Creators Network. "We are pleased to invite you to apply for the 2026 Young Filmmakers Exchange, taking place in Dubai." He reread the destination 3 times. Dubai. The place he once thought was the whole dream. Now it was simply the next chapter. He carried the letter into the living room, where Maya was studying and his mom was cooking. "What's that?" his mom asked. "A new opportunity," he said. Maya snatched the letter and read it faster than he could explain. She gasped. "Dubai. Full circle, bro." His mom smiled, pride shining in her eyes. "So, are you going to apply?" Jalen looked at both of them, his team, his anchors, the people who helped him reroute when everything collapsed. "Yeah," he said slowly, smiling. "I think I'm ready now." And he meant it. Not because Dubai was the dream, but because he had become someone who didn't fall apart when plans changed. As the evening light spilled through the window, he pinned the Dubai letter next to the Toronto badge. Not as a wish, as a possibility. A new ticket, for a new version of himself.